let's talk about our earliest queer identity memories. So I was talking to somebody today about how our memories really start to form when our language skills start to develop because of that's how we communicate oftentimes within an internal dialogue. It's how we express our feelings is through words oftentimes. So before you have those language skills, it's all just pictures. So our earliest memories are usually like the person I was talking to today, like 4 or 5 years old. Well, as I was thinking about this, I was like, oh, well, my earliest queer identity memory was when I was like 7. And I thought it was super weird that adults were always asking me, oh, do you have a little boyfriend? And I was like, in my head as a 7-year-old, I was like, why doesn't anybody ever ask if I have a girlfriend? That's super weird. Adults, stop asking elementary aged children if they're in relationships. It's really, really freaking weird. So obviously I was like, well, why aren't they asking me if I have a girlfriend? It's always a boy. Why? Like, that seems odd. Why don't I have options? At that point, I realized, I'm a sometimes lesbian. I didn't know what bisexual was or pansexual was. So I was a sometimes lesbian until I found out what the actual words were. So I thought that was my earliest queer identity memory. Turns out it was much younger. I was probably 4.5, 5 years old. And my friend and I decided we were going to play Aladdin because it was like my favorite Disney movie at the time. I fully acknowledge the problematic nature of a lot of Disney movies, but specifically this one for a lot of cultural appropriation and disrespect reasons. But as a kid, I was like, yes, a brown princess representation. Although those were not the words that went through my head as a kid. I was like, oh, she looks kind of like me. Cool. So anyway, as a kid, it was cool. It was my favorite. So my friend was like, okay, let's play I'll be Princess Jasmine. And then she took a pause and was like, wait, do you want to be Princess Jasmine? To me, that was super weird. She had already called Jasmine. Aladdin's the other option, and he's just as cool. Of course I'll be Aladdin. It's the first thing she said that made me realize that I was gender non-binary, gender queer, non-conforming, possibly agender, two-spirit, whatever. I don't really feel like there's a specific label that fits me, and I've never really cared until you try to make me pick one. That's when I care. But anyway, the second thing that she said was after we had put our costumes on and I came in ready to play in poofy pants, no shirt, and a vest. And she was, oh my gosh, you have to go put a shirt on. And I was like, why? I'm Aladdin. And she goes, you're a girl. And I was like, no, I'm Aladdin. It did not compute why my chest was any different than his chest for identity reasons and other sexist reasons.